Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Rajan Anandan, Vice President and Managing Director, Google India.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Google team, I would like to welcome all of you to the most exciting launch we've had in the history of Google India. We're all massively excited. As all of you know, India is already the third largest internet market in the world and on a bullet train to become the second largest internet market within the next 12 months. By 2017, given the current rate of growth, India will have over 500 million internet users. That, as all of you know, is a very large market. Mobile is driving almost all of the growth. Over the next several years, several hundred million Indians will come to the internet for the very first time. Every single one of them will access the internet for the first time through a smartphone, definitely through a mobile device.
For us, it's really exciting because Android is powering this mobile growth in India. Android is growing at a phenomenal pace. The entire PC industry, after about 40 years, has reached 1.7 billion users. Android, just in a few years, is already over 1 billion users and has been roughly doubling every year. In India, Android is growing at an even faster pace. Just over the past 12 months, the total number of Android users in India has more than tripled. And so we could be more excited about this trend. The question is, why does it matter? Why should we get excited? At least for me, the chance of giving a high-quality smartphone to people with connectivity, you're truly giving them the entire world's knowledge in their fingertips. It's giving them a real computing experience in their hand. I didn't have access to computing when I grew up. I look at how my kids learn today. They have full access to computing, and it's radically different. And it's really inspiring to think about the potential of giving each and every one access to this computing in their hand. And when you do that, technology creates opportunity for everyone, and it levels the playing field. It's always been true. In history, you can go back 500 years and look at what the printing press did. It took knowledge from the hands of a few people and brought many more people into the fold. And we believe this revolution is no different, and it's as profound. We are already seeing examples of how this is happening in many, many sectors. The internet is transforming many areas of our life. If you look at education, in the US, almost all the major universities are putting their entire coursework online. With things like the Khan Academy, with things like the advent of MOOCs, education, as we know, is radically getting transformed. I look at healthcare. Just within the last few years, the average person has deep access to health information, almost at the same level as what health professionals do. And it's changing the face of healthcare, as we know. Communication. It's a fundamental human need. And if you just look at what's happened on Android over the past few years, especially in India with applications like WhatsApp, etc., it's really changed how people stay in touch with each other. Every single area of our lives is getting radically transformed by the internet. And to us, it's very inspiring. For us, for Google, of course, we've been at this journey for a while. And the area which is really inspiring to me is knowledge. And that's what a lot of good research is about. I was always struck, one of the things which inspired me to join Google was Google search works the same. It gives you the same access to information, whether you're a Nobel laureate, a professor at Stanford, or a young kid in rural Indonesia. You get access to the same information. And that, is a big part. If you look at the queries we get today, amidst all the noise, there's tons and tons of queries which are just about people trying to better their lives and gain access to more information. platform so that many people, not just Google, others can do great applications on top of Android. We're beginning to see that in India. Rajan mentioned about the vibrant startup community. Just in the last couple of years, personally seen many, many exciting applications on top of Android which are taking off. There's a mobile application called Naukri, which really helps people update their online resumes and help people find jobs. Ixigo is an application 2.5 million people use to find train schedules, travel, and the whole information is at their fingertips. I recall 20 years ago standing in long lines for hours at a time just to walk up to the counters and find whether a ticket is available on this particular train. The world is changing at a rapid pace. And finally, I Changed My City is an app on which you can easily post complaints and route it to the right civic agency so that you can drive change in your local community. All these changes are happening on top of Android. So we are very, very excited by this vision, but we are still faced with the fact that 4 billion people in the world still don't have access to the internet. We all know, we internalize, we use smartphones, we know how much our life changes with these devices, but there are 4 billion people today who don't have access to the internet. And 1 billion of the 4 billion is in India. And in India, for all the success we have had, only 10% of people in India have access to smartphones. The number is growing, it's exciting to see, but it's just not growing fast enough. And we really want to do better. So we've been thinking hard about what we can do to change the dynamics here. And there are a few structural barriers which get in the way of people adopting smartphones. Let's go. We literally want to provide a turnkey solution for the OEM industry. So here's how it looks like. You literally think of it like a restaurant menu. Where Android One is headed is, for each OEM, as they look to make a phone, we give them a menu of options. They can literally go, pick the display they want, pick the battery they want, the type of screen, the memory, so on and so forth, the type of camera, and they can put together a device in a much quicker manner. And they can do that knowing we've already tested these components, and we've tested the software against these components, so it will just work. And over time, for each of these components, we will give a whole range of choices of vendors so that OEMs have plenty of diversity and choice. It's very exciting because as an OEM, it makes it much easier to build a high-quality smartphone, and we are pooling resources across our partners to get economies of scale. In addition to this, for software, we're going a step further. With Android One, you get a consistent platform base. Google is behind the software. It's almost like how the ISI backing works in India. So this is backed by Google. Right? We will guarantee that it's a consistent software platform. It has the latest and the greatest functionality of Android. It is secure. We will push updates out quickly, and all your data, if you choose to do so, is fully backed up in the cloud. Yet at the same time, we provide the same layer of customizability on top of Android One, so that as an OEM or a carrier partner, you can add value-added services and applications. You can change the skins, and over time we'll be enhancing the customizability so that you can build phones tailored to your local needs. We are starting initially with the range of options, which we will increase over time so that Android is as flexible as ever, and people can use Android One to build a whole wide variety of things. So Android One is a big initiative, one of the most important initiatives we have worked on. And today we are taking the first step in our journey. We are announcing the first set of devices for India, from which we will start expanding to other places. So to give you more details about what we are doing in India and the first set of devices we are announcing, I'm going to invite Caesar, who has worked closely with me to get this program ready. Caesar.
Thank you, Sundar, and a very good afternoon to you all. Really exciting to be here to talk to you about the work that our team's been doing, along with our partners, to bring you Android One phones. As Sundar mentioned, over time, our partners will be bringing a wide variety of Android One phones to market. at different prices, with different specs, different designs. But for today, we wanted to start by bringing a high-quality mobile experience to all of you at the most affordable price. So all the phones that are launching today belong to the same family. And they were all derived from this reference phone that I'm holding in my hand. So the performance and the software you see is indicative of what users will experience on these phones. So we've done, I've been using this reference phone for the last 2 months as my only phone. And the great Android experience that Sundar talked about really comes to life on this phone. So let's take a look at this phone. I'm going to talk a little bit about the hardware, the software, and then what we've done with connectivity. So starting with the hardware. All the phones, we very carefully spec the parts that go into this to, again, bring a very fast, fluid, high-quality mobile experience. These phones, they have a 4.5-inch display, 854 by 480 pixels. They have a very fast quad-core MediaTek processor inside, 6582 for those of you who are interested. It's got 2 GPUs. It's got 1 gig of RAM, and it has a 5-megapixel rear-facing camera and a 2-megapixel front-facing camera. So you can take great photos, but also indulge in a selfie if you want, or get onto a video conference. Also, these phones have a full range of sensors that you would expect from a high-quality phone. Gyroscope, GPS, compass, accelerometer, all that kind of stuff. On top of that, this hardware is optimized for India. What does that mean? So it contains 4 gig of internal storage, but along with that, it has the ability to expand the storage using an micro SD card to 32 gigabytes. It's very important in a market like India where a lot of users tend to carry media on SD cards. On top of that, these phones support 2 SIM cards, have replaceable batteries so they're easily serviceable, and have a built-in FM radio. All very important features for the Indian market. So let's now see how all this comes together in the software experience. So the first thing you'll notice, we should look at the screens, the 2 little screens, that's what the demo is going to be. The first thing you'll notice is the speed and how fluid the UI is. This phone is fast, there's no stutter, there's no lag, it just clicks into place, the animations are fluid, as you can see, they look beautiful. The speed on this phone is really good. Even when I go into my applications, you saw Gmail just popped into place, all my emails were there in a second. I can go to photos, and you see it scrolls beautifully. The photos look very nice, and I can jump in and look at my son's photo anytime. On top of that, let's take a look at maps. You'll notice how fast maps loaded. But more than that, you saw also how the traffic information got overlaid on that. So it fetched the latest traffic information and showed it to you instantly. Right? Now let's take a look at how this animates. And again, you'll see it's smooth, fluid, high frame rate. That's a very, very high quality mobile experience. That's the speed of the phone, and we've worked very hard. Our engineering teams have worked very hard with our friends at MediaTek to really get the most out of this hardware. But on top of this, there are other features that are very important. Let's take a look at one of these. Speech. Android uses speech a lot in the whole user experience, and we've optimized that for Indian accents. So let's try that out. Okay, Google. How old is Shah Rukh Khan?
Shah Rukh Khan is 48 years old.
They say Google knows everything. So moving on, the best way to actually experience performance is to play a game. So I'm going to start this game called Temple Run. It's a beautiful game, works very fast. What I would like you guys to watch for is how quickly it reacts when I move my wrist, the graphics, as well as when I flick, how fast the game responds. So, I'm running away from monsters and demons, and I can jump right over. Again, you'll notice that the graphics is beautiful. As I move my wrist, it tracks beautifully, and ouch. So, that's the core user experience. Now let's look a little bit at the platform. As Sundar mentioned, this software is directly from Google. So the first thing with that is that everything on this phone is automatically backed up. So your apps, your settings, your photos, everything gets backed up privately to the cloud. Why is that important? Well, if you lose your phone or when you're ready to upgrade, you can just pick up exactly where you left off. In fact, the Google Plus Photos app backs up an unlimited number of photos. That's pretty awesome. The second more important reason of why it's so important that this software is directly from Google is that it helps us deliver updates to this phone. To really optimize various products and services at Google for India. Let's take a look at one of these. So again, please look at the demo screens. I'm going to start with Google Now. Google Now is our service that brings you the latest information, the right information at the right time, customized to you. Google Now on every Android One phone is always present to the left of the home screen. So with one easy swipe, I can always get to my Google Now cards. And as I scroll through my Google Now cards, you'll see this is all information that's personalized for me, showing me weather, showing me how far work is. I've been traveling so much to the airport and things about that. It's showing me latest stock. But for India, Google Now will also include train reservations and information about train leaving, which is very, very relevant. But more importantly for India, Google Now will include cricket scores. Now that's a feature I think a lot of our users are going to love. Again, Google Now is always present one swipe away. Let's take a look at another app, Google Translate. Google Translate has gotten me out of many difficult situations, many places in the world. And our Translate team has done a ton of work to optimize Hindi to English and English to Hindi. I'm going to tempt fate a little bit. This is probably the worst place to do a Translate demo because of all the speakers and the voice. But let's take a chance. Or as I say, let's take destiny in our hands. Apni kismat, apne haath.
My destiny in my hand.
Should we try one more? Sare jahan se acha Hindustan hamara.
Better than all the world is our India.
You should try it. This is working. We'll keep working and making this better and better. But this is a very powerful feature for many users in India. The next app I want to talk about is Play Newsstand. And I'm very happy to announce that Play Newsstand is coming to India. Play Newsstand is our app that brings together your favorite news sources from around the world in one beautiful, seamless UI. So, and the best part about this app is it gets better the more you use it. And over time, it'll keep offering you articles that it thinks you'll be interested in. This is a very beautiful app. You can just smoothly scroll through your articles. You can swipe between articles. Should you wish, you can actually even bookmark this for later and it will be saved offline. Play Newsstand will be launching tomorrow in India with 30 new leading Indian publications. We think you're going to really like it. So we've talked a little bit about hardware and we've talked about software. Now let's take a look at what we are doing about connectivity. And as we talk about connectivity, let's take a small step back and think about what makes a smartphone really powerful. It's really the apps. And the Play Store has over 1 million apps on it. But think about it. For someone who doesn't have regular access to data, this is probably out of reach. So there are many users in India who haven't really realized the power of what the Play Store has to offer. So to help them, we work very closely with our friends at Airtel to put together an offer that brings 200 MBs of app downloads for free every month. This means users will be able to try out about 50 to 60 apps during that period of the offer, so that they get a glimpse of the power of what their smartphone is capable of. On top of this, the same offer is going to include free updates. So none of these data that's used for these updates or these apps is going to count towards your data quota. And so your phone will keep getting better over time through these updates. Just think about how many electronics objects that you bought that actually get better after you bought them. That's a really powerful concept. So beyond apps, we wanted to take a very close look at a couple of key use cases and optimize them from a data perspective. The first is mobile browsing. As Sundar mentioned, mobile browsing has now exceeded desktop browsing in India. And on all Android One phones is Chrome.
It's an amazing browser. It's fast, simple, secure. And in Chrome, we built a feature that compresses the data between your browser and your favorite applications by up to 50%. So you can get a lot more out of your data connection. That's very, very powerful. The second use case, which is very important in India, is YouTube. You know, YouTube is very, very popular here, and YouTube in India has a ton of amazing content. And our teams actually put together a mashup of some of the most popular content on YouTube. Why don't we take a look? Consumer-driven insights to the market. Micromax sells about 3 million devices every month. They have a presence in 550 districts throughout the country and are present in 130,000 retail locations. The Canvas A1 will launch in 2 beautiful colors, serene white and magnetic black. And there's beautiful detailing around the camera that we think our users are going to really like. We have Vineet Taneja here, CEO of Micromax. Thank you, Vineet, for joining us on this Android One journey. Our next phone is from Carbon. Carbon, as you well know, entered the market in 2012. And in that short period, they have launched over 80 smartphones. Carbon is present in 85,000 retail locations and is present in 92% of the districts of India. They were recently listed in the 2014 Brand Equity Survey as among the most exciting youth brands. Carbon sells about 2.4 million phones a month, and Carbon is bringing the Sparkle 5 as their first phone on Android One. The Sparkle 5 comes in 4 gorgeous colors: Magnum Blue, Wild Grey, Wild Red, and Pearl White. I'm particularly fond of Magnum Blue. You guys should try it out. It's very sleek, very nice. Pradeep Jain, who's the Managing Director of Carbon, is with us today. Thank you for joining us on this journey. lead partner for today is Spice. And Spice is bringing their first phone on Android One called Dream Uno. It's a beautiful phone, comes in white and black, and has a very nice finish on the back. Spice, as you all know, has been building phones for a little over 2 years now. But in that time, they've developed a reputation for bringing great innovation to market. They've won the coveted Golden Peacock Innovation Award 3 times in the last 6 years. And the latest one was for their highly successful smartphone, the Pinnacle Pro. Dilip Modi, who is the chairman of Spice Group, is with us today. Dilip, thank you for joining us. Three great phones from 3 great brands. And all 3 phones will be available today and will start at rupees 6,399. These are great phones at any price. But around 6,000 rupees, these are incredible phones. And we're very excited about them. I'm really looking forward to seeing what people do when they get such a high quality mobile experience at such an affordable price. A number of people will buy these as their first phone, but many will get them as a second phone. Some will get them for their kids and their parents, and some will just buy one to have spare at home. With this many number of brands, this many number of phones, this many number of colors, we think there's going to be one for everyone. So we're very excited about these products. But now we want to go a step further, and we want to figure out how to get the word out about this. And how do you make these phones available everywhere in India? And to tell you about that, I'm going to invite my friend and Vice President of Marketing, Tom Oliver, to the stage. Thank you.
Caesar. Namaste, everyone. I'm very excited to be with you today to discuss the launch of Android One. It's a big day. You just heard about the challenges in building a great smartphone. There's also the challenge of getting those smartphones into the hands of millions of users. To do that, we need consumers to be able to touch and see and learn about these phones in the stores they shop in every day. As part of the Android One program, we think about the unique retail and consumer behaviors in every market we enter, and we tailor the marketing to address those needs and meet users where they are. Local partners play a critical part in helping us do this. So let's take a look at how we're working together with partners to launch Android One. The first step in the customer experience is often researching the smartphone online. The internet is a great place to learn about products, compare them, get your questions answered before you actually buy the device. In India, we see over 4 million queries per day inquiring about smartphones. That's over 50 queries per second, a tremendous level of user interest in the smartphone segment. And we're creating a full-service Indian website that we're launching today to give users very rich content about the Android One program. It's not just research, though. The next step in the consumer journey is actually buying a device online. Many will do this. 1 out of every 4 users in India will purchase a device online, according to our partners over the next few years, and we want to be there to ensure they can do that. So today we're excited to announce that Android One devices will be available for sale with leading e-commerce providers, including Flipkart, Amazon, and Snapdeal. The devices will be available for online later today. It's a great option for our customers to buy. So that's the online experience. Let's turn to offline retail. Retail is a tremendously important channel. Most consumers will touch and buy devices through this channel. Our OEM and carrier partners have extensive experience managing complex networks in this environment, and we're working closely with them to scale device availability for Android One to over 200,000 store locations across over 240 cities. We're rolling this out over the next several weeks just in time for Diwali, and consumers will be able to find these stores near them online, as well as by a range of stores from big retailers, including Reliance Digital and the mobile store, as well as Chroma, as well as small and medium-sized retailers across the country. All right, so that's the digital online experience. Now, once a consumer enters the store, their first interaction is likely to be with a salesperson. The sales interactions here are critical and have a huge impact on the consumer experience with the smartphone. These are the folks that help with accessories, data packs, setup, customization, many other aspects as well. And we want the sales team for Android One to be as knowledgeable and as helpful and as expert as possible. That's why we're creating a program called Android One Ambassadors. Ambassadors are retail teams that are specially trained and certified by Google to give the right kind of guidance on Android One. We already have over 30,000 ambassadors signed up. In fact, 40 are here today with us. Let's take a minute to say hello to them. We're very proud of the customer focus and the knowledge these ambassadors will bring to the Android One experience. Consumers can find an Android One ambassador. We're near on the website, as well as on a feature phone, and we'll be rolling out this program over the next several months. While we hope as many people as possible interact with and meet an ambassador, we don't want to just wait for consumers to enter a store. We want to take the Android One program to users wherever they are. So to do that, we've created a showroom on wheels that we call the Android One Zone. These spaces or zones are where users will be able to interact with live demos. They'll be able to talk to trained staff, ambassadors, as well as, most importantly, interact with devices that are fully enabled with free Wi-Fi. That means the consumer can see the device working with apps and content they care about before they buy. Users can also get assistance finding a place to buy in these stores, and then once they've purchased the device, get help setting up the phone. This is a critical program. We're going to reach over 600 locations in 20 cities, and you'll also be able to interact with it after the session later today, where you pick up your own demo devices. Okay, so we've talked about the broader retail experience we're building to support the program. We also need to get the word out about Android One, teach users about it, get them excited about it. I want to show you a few examples that we put together with our partners to do that. This is a billboard from Micromax, educating users about the benefit of an always fresh software experience. Another example is digital work with Carbon and Spice, touting other benefits of the program. You're going to see many more examples of outbound marketing later today from our partners, educating users about the program. One in particular that I like, that I want to give you a sneak peek of, is our first Android One TV app. Let's take a look.
चाहत हो सबकी पूरी चला चल चला चल चला चल चला सोएर मजा गुठे नए नए से पंख लगे चला चल चला चल चला चल चला अब ताकतवर का जोर रहा ना कोई कमजोर रहा चला ओ कोई ना ऊपर ना कोई नीचे ना कोई आगे ना कोई पीछे फर्क रहा ना इन बातों में मौके बराबर अब हाथों में चला चल चला चल चला चल चला
अब इंडिया में सबकी किस्मत अपने खुद के हाथ में होगी, क्योंकि सबके पास होगा एंड्रॉइड वन। एंड्रॉइड वन, अपनी किस्मत अपने हाथ।
चला चल चला चल चला
Love that piece. Hope you enjoyed it as well. Apni Kismet, Apni Aap. We look forward to helping people achieve their destiny, working with our partners. Thank you. And with that, I'll give it back to Sundar for closing.
Thank you, Tom. Your Hindi is almost as good as mine. Very excited to see the moment where we are today. We're working hard to make sure Android One is available globally, widely across India. But India is just a start for us. We want to launch this in India, learn, and use it as a template by which we expand the program to other countries. So today, we're also announcing that we are adding more countries to the Android One program. And Android One will be soon launching in Indonesia and Philippines, as well as countries in South Asia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. So we are expanding the program, and as part of that, we are welcoming many more important Android partners to the program. So there are a whole range of new partners joining the program. Acer, Alcatel, Asus, HTC, Intex, Lava, Lenovo, Panasonic, and Zoll. All these OEM partners are joining the program, and we are also pleased to announce Qualcomm is joining as a silicon partner to help us launch a new line of Android One phones with even more variety and choices for consumers in the near future. We are in a pivotal moment in the history of computing. The advent of smartphones and the pace at which we are driving this innovation forward is really changing how people can access the internet. For me, today's launch is no different a moment than the launch of the original G1 phone. For those of you who remember, we launched all of Android with just one phone, one device, one OEM, and one carrier partner, from which it has scaled to a global program today. Similarly, Android One today is just the beginning, and we hope to work with a whole range of partners to drive many, many choices for consumers. So to capture the moment where we are taking Android One from India to the next set of countries, the team put together a short video. Let's take a look.
One will change the way we think. One will start a movement.
Another one, it creates.
One will inspire another, which will inspire another, which will inspire them all.
One will deliver a speech that unites our country.
Another will bring a family together.
One will shoot a video that millions will see.
While one will send the most beautiful love letter ever written.
One will make us laugh.
One will make us cry.
One will make us believe.